line, I seen you. I just got told that. Hold on. This is one of those. This is one of those situations where I've got to be extra careful about how I word this, I guess. What's the right way to say this? Agents made decisions for actors once again. So ROMY had never actually met Jenna until today, or until yesterday. So her agent didn't want her to be on a panel with Jenna by herself because they'd never, I guess, worked together. And she said it didn't make sense. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get Jenna or ROMY, but I know for a fact I'm not going to get both of them up here at the same time. Yeah, just found out. It was originally supposed to be all three of them, but scheduling conflicts or whatever, it got them split up. So ROMY and David being together on the same panel, makes 100% sense because they were, on the show at the same time. But yeah, Jenna's super cool. I mean, I hate that the agent, they hadn't had a chance to make those connections yet because it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been any reason for her not to, be comfortable up here with doing that. But once again, that has nothing to do with the people we love and we came here to see as much as it is to the people that make the decisions about things like that. So, they know best, I guess.
Until then, do we want to talk about Bigfoot? That is kind of the go-to around here.
I mean, it literally has been the go-to. I'm almost Bigfooted out.
I don't believe that in the slightest.
I do have some new faces in here today.
Yeah.
Who believes in Bigfoot? Show of hands if you believe in Bigfoot.
Anybody? Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic.
Okay, anybody ever seen Bigfoot?
This is where you're supposed to raise your hand.
You think he's seen Bigfoot? He's got Bigfoot.
All right.
I believe that. That's a big boy. What sports you play, dog? You don't play no sports? You don't wrestle? You look like a wrestler.
Wrestling?
Not a wrestler. You look like a wrestler. He look like he getting ready to wrestle somebody right now.
I know, right? I'm kind of scared.
What you doing, dog? You YouTubing something?
Searching up Gabe's Cave on YouTube.
Are we boring you?
I mean, I know I'm ugly, but you ain't got to be that.
You got any weird talents?
Neither do I.
Can you sing? Can you dance? How do you know? You ever took dancing lessons?
Have you?
If you ever get the opportunity to take dancing lessons or do crack cocaine, do the dancing lessons. Stay away from drugs.
That's a good message.
It is.
That'll be the message of today. Dance.
Do dance, not drugs.
Everybody write that down. That's your homework.
That's right. Keep that with you always.
Yep.
We're going to turn this into a DARE convention if we don't get some Power Rangers up here soon.
Fentanyl been killing all the junkies. It's been junkies.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
All right.
Hey, bro, you got a sign? You got a sign? What's your sign say?
Let's see the sign.
What does it say? Jenna, will you go to prom with me? Bro, dude, that's a cool sign. Tell me some good news. She's coming? Okay, good.
Fantastic.
I know, dog. I know, but it's all good as long as she's coming. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, homie, come sit up front.
He really is asking her for real.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you're gonna do that, but she doesn't know either. So I hope this is gonna be too.
No, bro. Like, Jenna's pretty cool, dog.
No,
she might act.
She's one of my clients.
Yeah, she.
But I didn't tell her because he didn't want me to tell her.
right there, they're going to assume two things. I'm either out of my mind or I'm on meth. Those are the two things they're going to assume right there. I'm not there seeing the person. I can't shake their hand, so that's what they're going to assume. And then they can tell me, no, psycho, stay the hell off my land. Well, there she is. Well, everybody, Jenna Frank, everybody, standing ovation in now. That's right, that's right. We're going to make it 3.
Yes, bro.
And I got that book. It's up here right now. And I got a pen in the pocket. That's right. Okay, everybody. Welcome to Oklahoma City Pop Culture Con 2024. This is Gabe's Caves panel. We are happy to sponsor this for these guys. I am Uncle Nasty, and this is your star, Miss Jenna Frank, everybody.
Guys, thank you all for coming. Sorry I'm late again. So, yeah. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here today.
Okay, well, if you guys weren't here yesterday, my panels work pretty simple. Jenna gets to introduce herself to you guys and do a little intro any way she sees fit. And then I'm going to ask her pretty much one simple question, really easy, and then it immediately gets turned over to you guys because this is y'all's panel with her to ask the questions that you've been wanting to ask and get the answers that I hope you're looking for. So let's get started.
Let's get started. Hi, my name's Jenna, if you didn't know. I also go by J Ray. I do music, and it's something that I'm kind of new to, but that's what I'm trying to focus on. So I try to say I'm J Ray as much as possible. But I also play Ashley Reed in the new movie, Legend of the White Dragon. That's me, bro.
All right, everybody. This is year 2, Jenna.
Year 2, nice.
What's it like to walk in the door, and the minute you walk in the door, you see people standing in front of the table just ready to see you?
Sometimes it's crazy. Like, it's just like such a good feeling because I'm just like, wow, like, I love you guys so much. I really don't know if I would still be here without the support that I have. Real, you know.
Are you strong in it today, huh?
Yes, I am. Yes,
I
always,
love it.
bro. Always,
yeah.
bro.
She walked up on the stage today, confidence just boom. That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
the
All right,
aura, you know, like the energy. You gotta like pour into yourself, you know.
own it. All right, guys, this is y'all's opportunity. If you guys want to ask a question, Lexington out here in the crowd has a microphone.
Hello, everybody.
We have a camera right here that's an audience camera. I would love for you guys to go stand in the aisle so the camera could see you good if you wanted to ask a question. But yeah,
That's the camera he's talking
anytime you
about
guys
right
get
here.
ready.
All right, first question. Anybody?
Any questions, guys, about the new movie or anything?
Yes. It happens.
What actually inspired you to get into music, to start singing, or?
I love that question because my music is something that I feel like really saved my life, and that's why I always tell people you have to have an outlet that really, like, you know, it makes you have a purpose. And really, when I started writing music is whenever I lost my dad's mom, because it really hit me hard. And I remember the first song I ever wrote was in I don't want to cry. Was in where were we? I think it was Puerto Rico, and it was about my dad's mom. So like, it's like my dad was a part of that first song with me too. So really, just pain, I feel like, is what brought me to music. You know.
Is that available to listen to?
Yes, so some of it is on Spotify and Apple Music. I only have like 3 songs out right now. I was kind of young, like 15 and 16, and I feel like my music is definitely changing. I'm trying to be like, you know, just say less cut. Like, actually, I want to say no cuss words at all. You know, a lot. Some of my old stuff kind of does cuss a little bit, you know. But all my new stuff, I just want to, you know, just like, I don't know, just help people and just make it clean and just no cuss words so everybody can listen to it. So. It's coming out soon, bro.
That's fine. That's what the drivers on the road are for, swearing at them to get it all out.
Yes, thank you for the question, bro.
Yeah, the amount of
Who's
growth that I hear you wanting to do and your goals, like I hope the best for you. Like I really do.
And honestly, it's such a blessing to just come back here for like the second time and to see, you know, even if I haven't seen your face before, if I saw you last year, it's crazy because that's such a like underestimated blessing. You know, I think like us as humans, we forget, like we get so stuck in routines that, you know, like the sun didn't have to come up today. Like that's a blessing in itself. So, yeah.
So what is you're supposed to be having a new album coming out. You kind of some singles.
Some singles, yeah. I actually have my producer in the back right there. He makes all of my music. He came from Houston, with me. So he mixes all of my music. He was the one that made Soul Searching about my dad and everything. So yeah, and having somebody you can trust with your music, because my stuff's deep. You know, it's not the average stuff. It's talking about depression and just a lot of stuff, you know, anxiety, and that's hard to kind of open up to. So you got to have a good support system, and that's my boy right there.
Keep taking care of it, dog. Already. All right, look. Come on. Somebody out there.
Come on, guys, bro. Don't be scared.
Next question. Oh, you got a question? Yeah.
Jenna, will you go to prom with me April 13th?
Oh my gosh! Oh, wait, I need a picture of this, bro. Oh my gosh.
And I think he's dead serious, too.
Dude, I love this. I got to check my schedule, bro. March, April.
Have you ever been to a prom?
No. Well, you know what's funny? Hey, I'm for real going to check my schedule. But I need a picture with you real quick. I'm going to give you a hug, dude. Hey, that would actually be really cool. I'm not going to lie.
That's your sign. Cute, so.
Oh my gosh, give me a hug, bro. I love that. Can I keep it, bro? I will, bro. Thank you for that. So sweet, dude. You're awesome, bro.
Yeah. Hey, let's hope that schedule is free, y'all.
No, seriously, I really gotta check it because I know I'll be in LA for like a month, but I think I'll be back.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
So keep your fingers crossed, homie. I'm gonna say a prayer for you every night when I go to bed. Let's make this happen, guys.
No, for real. I love that.
I don't know how you can top that question, but I'm gonna need some of you guys to try, I guess.
That was too good, bro. I love that. Any more questions?
Anybody else?
You with the green American flag hat on.
Do you have any
ask a
questions,
question.
Oh my gosh, I love the outfit. Isn't that from what is the place on Instagram?
Super X.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm about to have one of those in the mail, bro. That's fire. I gotta take a picture with you later.
So this isn't really a question, but like growing up, I'm a 90s baby. So I didn't have a dad growing up. I've looked up to your dad since I was my son's age. You know what I mean? I met you probably 12 years ago in Chicago at a Comic-Con with your father. And then I actually started training MMA with him down in Houston. Yeah. And and then the next time I saw him, I think it was like 4 years later at another Comic-Con, and he remembered me. And I gave him one of my deployment patches because I'm actually in the military. And it's just
no, you know what's okay? I need to pause real quick.
No, you're good,
so
you're
we're
good.
actually starting this foundation called Mighty Military Foundation, and bro, I want you to be a part of this story. Like, I need to get your information. Like,
100%.
all respect, dude. All respect.
100%.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're absolutely fine. And I actually just lost my dad last year, but I mean, so like we have like kind of a connection. No, you're good. You're good. So like I said, it's not a question. It's more like a story.
Because I know how it feels, bro, and I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, you never want to, you never want to face that day.
Yeah.
When it comes, it's like it's there forever.
And see, like, it's weird because your dad was more of a dad to me than my own father was. So it's just like, it's just a connection, you know what I mean?
No, for real. And it's weird because Chicago is such a special place in my heart too. So that's weird that you met us there too. And it's just crazy to see. Like, I see pictures of me whenever I was like 6 and 7. You know, like it's just. Energy always aligns, though. That's what I believe in, man. And just mad respect for everything you do, bro. Seriously,
Yes,
and I'm
ma'am.
sorry. Like,
No, hey, you're good.
You know,
I
I
follow
know
you
how
on all
it
your
is.
socials, and
I gotta follow you
I
back,
support you. Absolutely. Thank you
But
very much.
I want you to be a part of the foundation, dude, because
Hey.
we want to interview people. Also, my mom's starting I don't know if you know about this, but she's starting a foundation for my dad called JDF Be a Legend. And we're going to have it's a mental health, like basically a place. We're going to interview like suicide survivors and, so yeah, we're going to do that. And Mighty Military Foundation, bro.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You just let me know.
For sure. You got to get his Instagram, bro. All respect, bro.
Magic happens when you single people out. Did you see that? He was just sitting there.
No,
Come
for
on,
real,
guy.
though. Energy always aligns, though. That's what I believe in.
That's right. All right, who else has got something in their heart? You know you want some. You know you want to say something. He broke the ice for real just then.
I guess I'll take the punch. Hey, Jenna.
What's up, bro?
Not much. Not to top that guy, but my late grandfather was in the Air Force back in the 50s. Wow, that's old.
All respect.
Yeah. He served during the Korean War, and he never really told much about his service for some odd reason. I bet he kept a lot of it to himself. I bet he was on like communications or something, because when he came back home, he did nothing but telephone work, all kinds of stuff with telephones. He even collected old wall-mounted phones. And I'm not talking like the little bitty ones. I'm talking about the big ones that weigh like much as a brick.
Dang, bro.
Or a certain block. And he and I actually can prove you this, but I'm just going to say it. He has an old switchboard in his shop.
Dang.
So he really took collecting old telephone material seriously.
Yeah, I had a grandpa like that too. He had like all like the old like arrowheads too, like everything old. So my dad's dad was into that too, even like coins and stuff, like really old school coins. All that stuff is dope.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my father wasn't there for me, but my grandfather was like the father figure, the closest thing I had a father figure. But I still respected my dad because he did a lot of work around the country for us. But it seems that my brother doesn't take that for seriously because they have a little dispute going on or something. But when my grandfather passed away back in October of 2018, I was literally going downhill. It took me about 2 months. I heard an old song I haven't heard in years, and it brought back a painful memory. And I said, you know what? I need to get help. I got the help. Am I in much better shape than I was back then? Yes, but I still feel like I need some help.
And you know, like that's so important because one thing, my dad knew he always needed help, but he never wanted to get it because he was too ashamed of asking for help. And that is the most powerful thing you could ever do. Is like reaching out for help, you know? Because and we're only human. We can't do this just ourselves, you know? That's just we're meant to help each other. We're meant to, reach out whenever you're low. So I'm so proud of you for that, man.
Sometimes we don't know just how much people love us until you ask them to show you. I mean, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Say, I need some help. I need you to love me for a little bit. I need you to love me through this. Help me get through this. I'm a veteran too, bro. Did 8 years active duty. He's a veteran too.
I need you a part of my military foundation, bro.
I got you. So yeah, it's when you feel like you need to go talk to somebody, just do it. And
especially being like a guy too, because being a girl, it's a little bit more easier, like we say we feel this way, but guys, like that's why I have a song called Lost Boy, and it's like a suicide awareness song for guys. It's like, he was just a lost boy that wanted some love. I know what it feels like to not feel enough, so it's like, I don't know, I just feel like people need to make that more of like a, like the popular trend, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Good stuff, not this bad stuff. Like we need to really get to the root of problems, because we're all going through so much. It's just people don't talk about it. But just know that, someone's always going through worse than you, too. So, kind of people don't even have roofs over their head right now, food, so just be grateful. Never take advantage of anything in life because it can be gone like this. And that's what I've realized, so just don't take things for granted. And just thank God every day.
Amen. So when is that next song coming out? Since you got the producer here, I can put some smoke on it.
Everyone turn back looking at him. Well, okay, so let's see. February. Okay, so I was thinking, well, I don't know because me and him definitely got to get on it, but March, mid-March, whenever I'm in LA.
Okay.
So yeah, because that's gonna be big.
Is that where y'all record at? Is in LA?
No, in Houston. So so it's funny because everyone's schedule is different, but ours is 12 a.m. go to the studio, 6 a.m. get home,
the best,
2 p.m. wake up.
the best music gets recorded in Houston. That's a fact. Zero. That's probably my favorite.
Zero,
rapper.
Paul Wall.
Yeah.
It's me and Marion's boy, Paul Wall. Yeah.
I've got to meet Paul Wall. He actually came to Kuwait and did a show for the troops. He gave me one of his grills.
I love Paul Wall, bro. No, but seriously, shout out to Marion. He has almost like 100 million streams underneath his belt. He's only 21. Like, he's worked with a lot of, like, you know, a lot of artists. I'm so proud of him. And beyond everything, like, when I couldn't call, like, my mom that I'm feeling down, when I couldn't call anybody, I called him, bro. And it's just about being around people that really can save you when, like, times get tough, you know? And just, I've always struggled with suicidal thoughts. And I feel like those will never go away. You just learn how to cope with them. But, like, having those, like, you have to have people that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just, like, depend on, like, in a good way, though, you know?
If that's the demon that you got to fight, you got to fight
We
every
all got
day.
demons. It's just different days, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
every
it's
day.
different ways, you know? So.
Guys, come on. We got her for at least 10 more minutes. So if you guys got something you want to say. How about you, buddy? Huh? No?
Saw your hand raised. Do you have a question?
She's my sister / assistant. Shout out to her too. I don't know if I'll still be here without her, but.
Well, come on. Would you please ask it on the mic so the people on YouTube could hear you?
I wanted to ask you, can you share like a behind the scenes like secret that nobody else will know from Legend of the White Dragon, you know, or some moment that you shared maybe with your dad or something?
Yes. Hold on. Let me think. All like the pranks on set, like it was just so funny. Like my dad was just like the biggest prankster, but this one scene, and I really can't say what it is because it's actually the most meaningful scene in the whole movie. And but just that moment, it just seemed so raw and genuine, and it just felt like it was us, you know. And I feel like that moment right there, this is when I realized like I love acting, like, you know, like it's just that really like was a powerful moment, that scene. And I can't really say it because like I said, it's the biggest scene, but it was just so powerful for me just to like be my dad's daughter, like, you know. And just to really be me, like, I don't know, it was just, like, I wasn't playing anybody else, you know? And I don't know, it was so cool because we've tried to work on, like, probably more than 10 projects, bro. Literally, more than 10. And this is the one that got finalized, and it's coming to movie theaters. And we have, like, so many great actors. And I've been telling everybody, wait till after the, you know, like how Marvel is after the credits, just stick around. I don't know why, but. Yeah.
Well, last time I had you up here, we talked about this, and it was kind of like mentioned a little bit. Have you done any asking or seeking around? Have you heard anything about maybe getting an actual Ranger suit on you?
Oh yeah, but like in the movie, what do you mean?
Just coming up in the future, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
separate.
Who out there would agree with me that they would like to see her in either the green or the white suit officially?
No, I really want to because, you know, I can actually fight, bro.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these actors, no disrespect, but they don't come from martial arts background. Like, I can really fight. Like, and I can flip, you know? Like, I can front flip, back flip. Like, that was something my dad couldn't do. So, like, he was always scared watching me tumble. He's like, I can't look because I would do front flip, back handspring, back tuck, layout, full, you know, some crazy stuff. But, yeah, so I would love to, bro, because I have all the skills. Like, I know how to act. You know, I have the long hair like my dad, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know?
Whew. Let's hope for it anyway. All right, so.
Let's hope for it.
I'm asking questions. Anybody else think of one? All right, guys. Well, y'all get up on y'all's feet. Y'all give Jenna a round of applause, and then get down there and get her some money for some autographs. How about that?
Bro, it ain't about that for real. But just come show some love and stuff. And I appreciate you guys for being here because out of all places, you chose to be here today. So thank you guys. I love you, and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. Seriously, it's only you that's stopping you. So remember that.
10 more than I got. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Y'all excited? Demolition? Yeah? Yeah. Man, I figured there'd be more people. Not that I'm aware of. No, they seemed excited when we went down there this morning and talked to them, so. Tony Khan, AEW. Yeah. 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 Words of wisdom by Chris. Some of them are and some of them aren't. How's it going? Yeah. Nasty. I'm almost sure you were that much. Like, don't even try to lie. YouTube has no idea what they're talking about because he won't talk into a microphone. Did you ever get your money?
No, it hasn't. They haven't. It's looking like April or something.
Did they tell you how much it was going to be yet? You're going to check for $3.95 after orders taken up.
Hey.
With those class So that where they talk about that mass censorship that happened, that they claim they never did. My dad got hit by that. Yeah, dude, I'm a hard victim of that, dog. This is a lot of people off. Zuckerberg got up there on the Senate committee. Yeah. He's like, oh, we were just doing this to provide an alternate point of view. And I'm like, no, you demonetize people over that. That's a different. If it was an alternate point of view, then you could have done it differently and said this is an alternate point of view. I got a black homie that shared like a real civil rights activist in today's time. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the real deal Martin Luther King living right now on this planet type stuff. Good stuff. And he shared what he said about BLM, right? He was a paid dude from Facebook. Facebook flagged him and took his partnership away. And that's what I try to tell everybody that does it, that when they make that one video that goes viral enough to where
This way I ain't got to yell at y'all no more. Yep, story time with Lex. So, Uncle Nasty believes in Bigfoot. I believe he believes in Bigfoot. But do I believe in Bigfoot? That is the question we will answer today. They're coming up the escalator. That is the question we will answer next time. Next time at OKC Pop Culture Con, hosted by Gabe's Cave and Lexington. This never happens. This is my first time actually being the one on the panel. I'm always the crowd runner. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well,
please, everyone that is still in the event room, rise to your feet and give a big round of applause. Don't ever rise down.
All right, now stand up and start screaming. Yeah, come on up here. We got some chairs up here. We got cameras live on YouTube with the current viewer of I have no idea. And we got, if you don't want these chairs, if you're not comfortable with them, we also have that one there. Right, yeah. I don't think so.
No, they're pretty stout.
Yeah, they're pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah. I always wanted to own a casino.
These on?
They on, Brandon? All right. He says they're on. So, the way these panels host, or the way we do our panels, is y'all will introduce yourselves. I'll ask you just an icebreaker question, something pretty easy, and then we hand it out to people in the audience, people on YouTube, and they'll ask questions. You can answer them however you like, and we'll just go from there. So, feel free to introduce yourselves however you want. You can sing, you can dance.
Demolition Axe.
Yeah.
And I'm Demolition Smash. Thank you for having us here, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, anytime.
It's a nice room here.
Yeah. Well, this is actually fun. This is my first time being the one on the panel because I'm the wrestling guy
All right,
in our group.
don't screw up, buddy.
I'm really trying not to.
You're not like the second or third guy down the deal, are you? You're the top.
I'm bottom. I'm bottom.
No, you're supposed to. You're the top guy.
Absolutely. I am 100% the top guy. There is no one better than me. I am amazing.
Cream of the crop.
I'm the cream of the crop. Yeah, no. But I'll ask the first icebreaker question. It's going to be a pretty simple one. How does it feel knowing that y'all are immortalized as legends with people in the crowd at, I don't want to say older ages. I'm pretty young, but older than me at least. And yeah, definitely. He's old. I'll say he's old. So old, medium age, and then the young generation still knowing who you are and still enjoying and wanting to talk to y'all. How does that make y'all feel?
It makes us feel good. It's very humbling, to be honest, to go out and to be able to, after all the years we were in the business and traveled all over the world, and to show up and have people come up to us and chat and remind us of things that took place years ago. So it's nice.
Yeah, like Axe says, we're very grateful because without the fans, we wouldn't be here. And what's so funny, it's been so many years since we've been in the ring, and the people come up to us and remind us of our matches we've had and the things we've done. And it really brings back good memories for us. So very thankful.
All right. Well, where's my crowd runner? Chris. Give him the microphone. Let him ask some questions. I want to hear what they got to say.
Hi, my name is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
I actually haven't really seen any of your matches, but one of the criticisms that I see when they talk about Demolition is that you guys were kind of a knockoff Road Warriors. How do you guys feel about that criticism?
Well, they were friends of ours, more closely aligned to Barry because they grew up in Minnesota. But I like to compare it to when people bring up comparisons to any team. It's nice to be remembered. It doesn't hurt our feelings. If we're thrown in with a group of individuals like the Brain Busters and the Hearts and the LOD and you name it, we like to be included.
And I never thought of it that way. I never even heard of that. The whole time we were in wrestling, I never even heard of that until after we were out of it, probably for 15, 20 years. Then somebody came up with that. So it's kind of, it's strange to hear that, but we're two different teams. They worked different than us. We had similar looks, but we tried to have great matches with everybody, and I know they did too, but they worked different than we did. So that's why I think we're different than what those people are saying, whoever that is.
I'm still thinking.
Uncle Nasty, I'm out here in the crowd. How you doing, guys?
Good.
I would disagree with anybody that says you guys were a knockoff. That was in my heyday, and I did watch a great number of your guys' matches. Okay, Mad Max, things like that were really big at the time. that post-apocalyptic type of look that people were going for, and the face paint. As far as big men in the ring, it was like that's how I saw Demolition. I saw Demolition as a team of two like giants put in there. Hawk and Animal, even though they were extremely strong and swelled up guys, they didn't give me the sense of awe that the giant guys in the ring did, with the face paint like yourself. So those critics can kiss Uncle Nasty's boo-hiney. What would you say your most memorable match was? Against what tag team do you think that would have been for you guys?
Well, we've been asked that a number of times. It would be very difficult to pinpoint one team. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, that time frame in our life that was dominated by the tag teams. You had the Hart Foundation, you had the Rockers, you had the Brainbusters, you had the LOD, Andre and Haku, Power and Glory, a number, and I know Rougeau's. I'm leaving out a bunch of teams, but we were lucky that we were there at that time because we could work with either one of those teams and have a good match. We didn't have to say, we need to work with this guy, need to work with this team, because they were all good. And the Bulldogs, I know I'm leaving out the Killer Bees. You could go from top to bottom. They're all main event quality. So to say that we had better matches would be difficult, but we always had good matches with Strikeforce, Hart Foundation, the Bulldogs, Andre and Haku, One Man Gang, and Boss Man. So that's what I'd say for the answer.
Yeah, and back in that day, the tag teams were all so good. Any tag team could have had the titles for long periods of time, and we just happened to be the guys that they said, hey, we're going to put the titles on them. And it was just the greatest time in wrestling, I think. It was a lot of fun being a tag team, and we just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
It made tons of sense, even as a younger man, as a kid watching it, because it made perfect sense that they would want you guys to be the pinnacle that the guys were, like I say, the giants that everybody's trying to overthrow. I mean,
yeah, and we really worked hard. I mean, you get up early in the morning, you'd get the first flight out. The minute you get in, you went to the gym, you trained, you tried to eat right, do everything, and before the matches, we always said, let's have the best match we could ever have. Yeah. And we'd come back, and I don't think there was too many times when we went, holy cow, that was terrible. It was always, all right, you had a great match.
Yeah, just throw in another team and just remember Powers of Pain. Oh. I mean, there were so many good teams at that time. We were fortunate. It was hard to have bad matches. So,
well, and further on that, why do you think that tag teams aren't as prevalent now as they? I mean, you get to see, like, they put Kane and Undertaker together for a little while, but they weren't like a tag team. That was just a tag team for right then, and that kind of seems like what happens now. You don't really see people come into the business and knocking doors down as a tag team anymore. I mean, they kind of, they find factions and they get their little groups, and then they end up being in a tag team match together. But
yeah, I understand. And that's I think that it's generated by the matchmaker, the booker, and then you get a lot of guys. In order to be successful as a tag team, you have to work together. You have to work as a unit. You have to be unselfish. And a lot of the guys in the business wanted their own path. So there's so many bodies. Well, they just tag Joe and Schmo up together, but Joe and Schmo don't want to be a tag. They want to be Joe on his own and Schmo on his own. So they're not successful, and they can't wait to be separated.
Yeah, and then also I heard, I don't know how true it is, if you had 5 matches and they were single matches, you have 10 guys. If you had 5 matches and had 2 tag teams on there,
You have to
Now,
add.
now you have to add those extra guys on there. It's extra plane tickets, extra pay, a lot of that stuff. And you do that 7 days a week and, all through the year. That's a lot of money they save by not having tag teams. So they train everybody as a single wrestler, and once it looked like they kind of clicked, they want to get somebody over, then they'd put the 4 people in the ring and try to get the person over with the 4 people, and that's kind of the what I thought. It makes sense.
Yeah, but it's very, very difficult. If you got a good set of tag teams, it's very difficult to outperform them.
Yeah.
If you're 2 individuals, because you got 4 guys in there, and sometimes a manager, and then a good referee. 2 guys can't beat all that action.
Yeah.
So
It just, you can tell more of a story
Yeah.
with the tag than you could with the singles. So usually the heels were more heels and the baby faces were more baby faces,
Okay, awesome. What do you think of the comparison to the, I don't want to say necessarily gimmicky matches of like the between your eras and the eras like the Hardys and Edge and Christian and the Dudleys having like all the tables, ladders, and chairs styles matches, the hardcore matches, and the evolution of the psychology that that some of the even the announcers talk about, where they focus on like isolating the one guy away from his partner so it makes a bigger pop when they actually finally get that tag. And how has what are your thinkings on the way that the psychology of it has evolved since then?
Well, that
he's pretty in depth.
Yeah, that didn't really develop recently. Separating your one opponent from his partner is established in the business. It's just how they go about it now. That's the psychology. That's telling the story. So when the guy that's beaten down and trodden and struggling to get that final tag, there's going to be a pop. If there isn't a pop, you've done something wrong in the match. And it's supposed to be a roller coaster effect. You build it up, and the big dip, and then it looks like it's going to come to a climax, and whoop, you're back up. So that's when you're controlling the fans. That's the psychology that, unfortunately, I don't watch that much nowadays, but when I did years ago, it was starting to wane, starting to filter out, and they were going for more dynamic bumps and this and that. But you can only take so many backdrops, so many pile drivers. You can't get up from 7 pile drivers. The psychology's lost. You got to tell the story that you're hurt.
And thank God we weren't in those hardcore matches. I mean, we were big guys. I was 320 and Bill's 310. You climb up on a ladder and fall off there, I mean, it hurts. And I look up to those guys. I mean, I look at the Hardys walk around. They can't even walk anymore. Mick Foley, oh my God,
You get trapped in that situation. You get trapped. That's what they expect you to do.
Yeah, I love these guys, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have to go through that. We worked our thing, and if Bill got hurt, then I'd work more in the ring, or if I got hurt, he'd, so we could cover for each other. But, thank God we didn't have to do those.
Yeah,
hardcore
and there's
things.
only so many bumps in your body. And if you put yourself in a risky position, it's like driving a car too quickly. You're going to eventually have an accident. It's going to cost you. So you got to plan ahead. You got to know that you can only do this. There's a window of opportunity, and that window is going to shut. So you want to be able to work not only one time a month, 20 times a month, if you have to.
And
If you keep doing all those fantastic, look around and how many guys were injured, drastically injured. So,
and with us, we really took pride in taking care of our opponents too.
yeah.
Usually, when we got hurt, it was we hurt ourselves trying to protect our opponents. And that's
the motto that we were
Yeah.
brought up with. If
And
somebody's going to get hurt in a match, it's not going to be you. I'm going to protect you. And when you don't protect them, then there's receipts and potatoes, what they call potatoes.
Yeah, and I thought we did a really good job making it look like we beat the crap out of people, and really we didn't. That was the art of wrestling.
So talking about tag teams, there's a new evolution of triple man tag teams and triple man tag belts, especially in AEW and Ring of Honor. How do you feel about that?
You mean 3 in the ring at one time, or 3 in the event on each side at one time?
Correct. 3-man tags.
They're difficult. We had it for a short period of time when Crush came in, but we had very few matches, or 6-man tag matches you're referring to, right?
Yeah, 6-man tags. Sorry.
But we're only 2 people in the ring at a time.
Yeah, 2 in a ring at a time.
Yeah.
It's like a tag team. Yeah, they're hard to program. Our situation was a little bit different because the 3 of us at that time when Crush was with us, we would interchange. They'd work together, or I'd work together with Smash or Crush. So it was like a team, and we knew what each other was doing. But if you throw us against 3 individuals, then put them tag team together, it's difficult because they don't know how to interact with each other.
And, and everything is time. Whenever you're watching the TV, they tell you have 14 minutes total.
Yeah.
Well, in that 14 minutes, you're walking down there. They're, announcing your name and everything. So by the time you get wrestling, you might only have 9 minutes, but you got 6 guys. So you have to, really watch what the clock's doing and, who you're working with and know exactly what you're doing. So it is tougher, but,
But if you got 2 or 3 different 3-man tag team factions, it'd be a lot easier than a team of 3 against 3 individuals. Because there again, getting back what we're talking about, you got 3 individuals that want to shine. One of those guys or 2 of those guys of the 3 doesn't want to look bad. So what's he going to do? He's going to gobble up the time, or he's not going to be in there at all. So it's a timing situation. They're very difficult.
The hardest scenario I always hated is when you had 3 or 4 guys in the ring at the same time, and then you had a couple people out, and you're having a match where you're knocking people out, and the other 3 are in there, and then this guy comes in. Those are really tough matches. So whenever you see a good one like that, those guys are good.
Yeah.
And I just saw one not too long ago on, I think it was WWE had it, and they did a heck of a job. It was like, I think it was 5 guys, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken.
Because it's hard for the audience to keep track. If you got 10 or 12 fish in a tank, you can't see all of them. They're all in there, they're all swimming, but you can't. So you isolate on 1 or 2.
And then when you knock one guy out and he goes out of the ring and he's laying there, well, why is he laying there so long? The other guy's got to do their thing, so you have to time it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So do you guys got any good road stories? Like on the road,
We were pretty generic. We didn't party a lot. Both married to the same wives the whole career, which is very unusual. We'd travel together, and a couple times maybe Tito would travel with us, or Fuji was with us most of the time. So we'd find a good restaurant. We always had a good rental car. We got the best rental car. That time was Cadillacs or Lincolns. And then we'd have
nicest hotels.
Good hotels, because our product is us. So we wanted to get rest. We always had single rooms. We relaxed. We ate good. Fuji was in charge of finding the restaurants.
We had every Chinese restaurant in the country we went to.
We knew where every Chinese restaurant was in the United States and Canada. And then we saw Fuji about 10 years later after we all got out of the business. I was talking to him, and unfortunately he was going through a little dementia, and we was talking about eating and stuff, and his son at the time said he doesn't eat Chinese food anymore.
He hates it. I was like, why didn't you hate it when we were with you?
Yeah.
We would have loved to have something else.
But we ate good, we traveled good, we slept good, first thing you do to go to the town, you go to the gym, and didn't party, because at that time we were on the road at least 300 days a year. So why wear yourself out and ruin your day or ruin your week or ruin your month?
And when you're at TV, we might wrestle 2 or 3 times that day.
Yeah.
And you do TV 2 or 3 times a week, that's an extra 6, 7 matches on top of the ones you did every day.
Yeah.
So you might be wrestling 11, 12 times in a week.
And you start interviews at 10 o'clock in the morning. You do interviews from 10 a.m. to 6. You get an hour break, and matches start at 7.
And back then, though, we didn't know any better.
No.
And that's just it was a piece of cake then,
Yeah.
But after being out of it for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, you take that first bump back, and it's like, whoa, what in the world happened? Or you don't want to leave home.
But when you're doing it, when you're in the forest, you don't see the trees.
Right.
So you enjoy it. And we were getting paid good, so if we had a chance to do it over again, we probably would.
Who came up with that? Because you do see the trees. You just can't tell anybody.
I came up with it.
Isn't that where one falls?
You can't. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there, does it make a sound?
Does it make a sound?
Yeah. That's an old philosophy. I don't know, because I wasn't there when it fell.
There. Nobody knows.
Yeah, the financials kind of leads into my question. I hear, I know there's a lot of focus on the from the guys that are in it now for like the merch sales and all that, like a lot of the merch sales, and they take the merch sales plus the popularity of the wrestler plus like the ticket sales from the pay-per-views to see how high are they on the card, to all of that contributes to the back-end paycheck on the wrestlers. Was that mentality the same back when you guys were still doing it?
Yeah, but we had no close-up access to the sales of the merchandise. I'm sure it's changed now. But yeah, those are all little perks that you get. Like, we're fortunate now, we've got a couple companies that came out with new action figures, and I used to call them dolls, and I was corrected by my grandson. Pep, they're not dolls, they're action figures.
They're action figures.
But collectibles.
Collectibles.
Hey, I like that one.
And, that makes it sound like it's an investment instead of a toy.
And we've been fortunate there. They've come out with, I think 4 currently, and there's a couple more coming out. So that all adds to it. And there again, it's nice for them to come out, because it's nice to be remembered.
Right.
And that's where it was nice to be the tag team champions for so long too. You're in the main events all those times.
Yeah.
Where when the guys dropped down to the opening match or whatever, they didn't have T-shirt sales or that kind of stuff. But that wasn't because they did bad. It was just because they weren't the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based off what you were talking about, it sounds like you guys were in the 80s and early 90s was your era.
Yeah.
And I didn't get real hardcore into wrestling until after that. I started when basically Stone Cold was on his way out. He hadn't left yet, but he was like the Highway to Hell stuff, and where he went to the Undertaker. That's about when I started getting into it.
Yep, that's when I started getting into it.
And I remember watching the WWE Superstars before that in like the early 80s. But so I missed a lot of you guys' heyday and stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to watch Peacock. They got a bunch of our matches on there.
Yeah, I just found out about that. Somebody sent me a little blurb on the internet, and I didn't even realize we were on it. So
have you guys? I can't remember if you guys, because I'm trying to go through the classes in my head of the. But have you guys been, as the WWE had mentioned, putting you in the Hall of Fame or anything like that yet?
No, we're not in the Hall of Fame.
Not yet.
You
we weren't. We had a little, let's say, testy relationship with the former head of the company, who's no longer the head of the company.
Right.
And
there's rumors online now that
it might happen.
It might happen. There's a lot of good tag teams,
Right.
But you never know.
Anybody else got a question?
You guys were champions. That's what, the Hall of Fame is. It's in the fans' hearts. That's like, I hosted a panel. I had D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo's a great guy.
Correct. And he's also not in the Hall of Fame. And there's no reason that he shouldn't be, just like you guys. There's no reason why you shouldn't already have been put in the Hall of Fame. So,
well, the nice thing is when we come to events like this, or we go to other signings or wrestling events, a tremendous amount of the fans come up and make that same statement. So we just appreciate their support. We have no control of it. So, and we've always said we're not going to lose any sleep over it because the fans support us. And if the powers that be listen to the fans, maybe one day we'll make it.
You know, and we got a couple of good friends that, you know, have been trying to push for us to get in too. You know, Kevin Nash is a great friend of ours, great guy.
Yeah.
We were in England with him. He says, I want to get you guys in the Hall of Fame, you know. And I mean, you know, you get guys like that pushing it. Bret Hart, we're great friends with him. He's tried to push for us. So, you know, you never know. You know, there's a lot of push for it to get through, but you don't know if it's going to ever happen.
Knowing McMahon, if Bret Hart was pushing for you for a while, that might have been to your detriment.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's kind of how we are too.
Just 'cause he might have been being petty at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But those guys are great guys, you know, and to stand up for you is pretty huge.
Shout out Big Sexy and the Hitman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout
my
out,
cousin,
yeah.
Absolutely. 100% my cousin. 100%.
Yeah, his funny story from us, but his daddy, his last name is Nash.
Yeah.
So his daddy got to bump into Kevin Nash at a bar one time.
In Shreveport, Louisiana,
yeah,
right after a show. And he went up to him and he was like, hey man, it's nice to meet you. I just wanted to let you know my name's Brian Nash. And he was like, dope, you're now Little Sexy. This is my cousin Little Sexy, Brian Nash. And he hanged out with them for like the entire weekend. It was, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, what a great guy he is.
Yeah. I got to the only time I got to see him in person was at Cracker Barrel in Little Rock, Arkansas, before they were doing a match in Little Rock, and I was little, I was a kid, you know, and I walked around the corner and he was just about to sit down, and I looked up and I froze. You know, my grandparents had no idea why I'm just standing there looking at they thought it was because he was so big, you know, and I couldn't speak. To this day, it's one of my you know, when I was a kid, I was not outgoing as much as I am now. I'll talk to anybody, but I wish I had just said hi to him.
Yeah.
You know, anything, just said hi to him, but I might get another chance. So.
Yeah, when he walks into a room, you know it. He's a big son of a gun, you know, and just a teddy bear too, you know.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Trendsetters, they paved the way. A lot of our face-painted big guys, they owe a lot to these guys opening the doors and making that be what we still think is cool to this day. Yeah. Would you like to ask them a question?
Would you like to make a statement?
I grew up watching you guys. I grew up in Cleveland, so I see you guys in Richmond College.
We're going to be in Cleveland
next month.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, we had those cards out there every month. I grew up watching you guys, so it's just cool to see you guys in person. But the question I'll ask, people always probably ask where your favorite place to wrestle was. What was your least favorite place to wrestle?
Least favorite place. Ooh.
Whether it's the stadium or the arena or the crowd or whatever.
Well, you know, it could have been the greatest place in the world, but if you were wrestling and you're hurt, no sleep, you know, whatever, that ends up being the worst place. But, I mean, I don't know where the worst place would be.
For me, years ago, it was Pakistan.
Oh.
It was just a dangerous situation. And then, not because of the people or anything, but the political environment at that time. But, you know, I really honestly can't think of a place that we didn't like going to.
No.
I mean, the fan reaction was, if we're the bad guy, if they're booing us, that's great.
We loved it, yeah.
And if we're the good guy and they're cheering us, that's great. So, huh?
As long as you get a reaction.
Yeah, that's the ultimate of controlling the environment.
You know, one of the best weeks that I remember that I liked was, you know, we're in all these buildings everywhere, big, you know, 20, 30,000 people in them every night, and all of a sudden we got our schedule and it was to be on the East Coast, and we were in these little high schools in little places, and at first we thought, well, what are we doing in these towns? Well, there was only like 5 matches on the card, we wrestled the Bulldogs every night in all these towns, and the crowd, it was packed, wall-to-wall people, and you hit one of them and the people went nuts,
Yeah.
And so we spent a week on the East Coast on the beaches down the coastline, and we just had fun. There was no pressure. You didn't have to perform on the top of the deal. It was just like a good time, and the people were all entertained. That was probably one of my best
And it was
weeks.
all drivable.
Yeah.
Before you literally you might be in Philly, the next day you're in Chicago, the next day you're in Los Angeles, then you're down to Dallas, then you're in Miami, then you're back up in Milwaukee. This one, we used to love when we go to California, we're there 5 days. Bring the families out, travel with us, and that didn't happen a lot.
Anybody else want to? You do?
Have you ever wrestled in like Japan or Mexico?
Not Mexico. I was in Japan 42 different tours. It would vary from, my first tour was 8 weeks, and then it would go down, after I got more popular over there, it would go down where I could pick, they would send me the schedule, and I could pick 1 week. What they did is they'd have, say for example, they had a 4-week tour. They'd bring me for 1 week, and Hogan for 1 week, and Stan Hansen for 1 week, and Abdullah the Butcher for 1 week. Or if they had a big tour, Andre and everybody was on it, we were on it for 4 weeks, or 3 weeks, or very rarely 8 weeks. Yeah. Never went to Mexico. Was asked a couple times, but couldn't work it in the schedule. But Japan, I loved Japan because, one, the fans were knowledgeable. I love Japanese food. The travel was always first class airfare, first class transportation in the big buses before they had the buses here. TV on the buses, restrooms on the buses. So, double seats. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was never in Japan as many times as Bill was, but loved it every time I went.
Yeah.
And
the last time we were there together.
Yeah, it was Bill and I against Andre and Giant Baba. That was a big day.
Yeah.
But other countries, England, Germany, Scotland,
Austria,
Ireland, Austria, all those, Italy, great times over there.
Yeah. We were fortunate we got to go. I think between us, we were probably at close to 100 different countries. And I always equate it to, we got paid to go to places where people pay highly to go to. And we enjoyed it. And a lot of places, they allowed us to bring our wives with us, which was even added. We were Sardinia and
Sardinia
Switzerland,
was great, yeah.
Switzerland and Italy, and that was nice.
Yeah, and then Australia and Taipei and Saipan and
Hawaii.
Hawaii. It was, what a great life we've had.
Yeah, and the wives always say, "When you going next?"
Yeah, you die to get home and everything. You're there for a couple of days, and your wife is like, God, these guys are ruining my life.
Yeah,
here.
they might not.
When are you going to leave?
They might not want to go to Poughkeepsie, but they want to go to Honolulu.
Oh, and the worst part is you'd go home, and the first thing you want to do is they want to go out for dinner.
Yeah,
you're like, we just want a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
As you became more seasoned and mature in your careers, do you have anybody that you felt you were mentored that were coming up that may have kind of changed some of the aspect of some of the other guys' careers because they actually paid attention to the older guys?
Well, we always were open to tutoring if they wanted to. And it's funny because a lot of the guys throughout our career, and not only between us, I'm talking about older guys in the business, some of the younger guys will come up and say, "Hey, can you watch my match and give me some pointers and this and that?" And I always, because I learned it from the guy that broke me in, always preface it with, I'll watch your match. Do you want me to tell you what you did wrong and right, or you just want me to tell you how good you are? Because a lot of times the guys they want to hear only the good stuff, and if you say something critical, you know they're walking away and, that son of a bitch is an old guy, he don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So why waste our time? We'd do it, but I want to know ahead of time, you're going to pay attention? Because it might be all good, but there's going to probably be a couple things that I would suggest that you don't like, so you got to take those too.
You know, and what's pretty neat too is when guys that are in the business now, and that they're working their way up the ladder to be top guys, that they've come up to us at signs and say, I hope you don't mind, we stole that move from you, or we did this. And it's like, it's the greatest thing for us to see that people are using some of this stuff.
Yeah, you don't imitate anything that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
How did you guys get into the business?
I'm sorry?
How did you guys get into being wrestlers?
I got in it by accident. My next door neighbor, I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, and he was a professional boxer who became boxing and wrestling commissioner. And his son and I played college football, and he was going to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and he asked us if we wanted to go to the matches. And I said, well, I've never been. My grandmother and grandfather are big wrestling fans. Yeah, I'd like to go. And we went right back into the dressing room. And we were as big as most of the wrestlers at the time. And somebody come up to us and said, you guys wrestling? I said, no, sir, we're not. And then the promoter at the time, who broke me in, asked us if we were interested in wrestling. And I said, I guess. So we started training that weekend. 6 weeks later, I'm in the ring. I backed into it.
Yeah, and for me, I grew up in Minnesota, where a lot of wrestlers came out of. And I used to bounce at a bar down in northeast Minneapolis. And it was myself, the Road Warriors, Rick Rude, a couple other guys. We were all there. And every night, it was pretty bad. We fought every night throwing guys out the door. And one of the bartenders was Eddie Sharkey. And after hours one night, he says, I got to get you guys into wrestling. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. So he had a camp for us. And then
Eddie was a referee.
Yeah, he was a referee. So he introduced us to Ole Anderson. Ole came down to the camp, and he called him up and said, hey, you got to see these guys. Because at that time, we were big guys that took bumps. And a lot of the difference between how everybody worked then and when we were getting in, there was kind of a change where, I always wanted to work like Ken Patera. He was a big guy, but he took arm drags and did this and all that. So anyways, we all went through their camp, and then Ole took Joe Animal down to North Carolina, and he gave him the name the Road Warrior. So then they were trying to find out who a partner could be. Well, the next in line at the camp was Hawk, Mike Hegstrand. So then he went with Joe, and then they became a tag team. So that's how it all kind of started. And then I went to Hawaii and worked for Mrs. Maivia. And then Rick Rude went to Vancouver, Canada. So we all got our breaks right there, and it was all from Ole and Eddie Sharkey.
I just thought of this. Do you guys have any cool wrestlers court stories?
Wrestling what?
Wrestlers court stories, like where someone screwed up and they had to take them to wrestlers court, where like the locker room had to
No, I think that wrestling court happened after we were out of there. I think that's recent, like with the Undertaker and that.
I never
time
heard of that.
frame.
What's the wrestling court?
It's basically like with someone in the locker room people have a problem with somebody in the locker room, and then they basically take it to what they call wrestlers court. And traditionally, it was evidently the Undertaker, who was the one who had been with the company longest, would be the judge. And if they decided that you were a jerk about a situation, then when they went out to drink, when they went out that night, like whoever he ruled against would be responsible for like the first round or something like that.
Now our wrestlers' court was a lot different, a
You
lot
just
more
put the
violent.
boots to somebody.
You just
and
beat the crap out of somebody.
And then they didn't do it again. That was
and maybe that guy that was disrupting your court, he might go to another court.
Yeah.
It didn't take long to settle issues, you know. It's like the situation that's happening in the world now. Take care of it right at home, and it might not happen, or they'll move to a weaker city, right? But there was no wrestler's court. I didn't understand the concept of it. Why am I going to let somebody else take care of a problem that I can handle myself? Right?
Right.
But that wasn't politically correct.
Well, yeah, but the politically correct in those days. We were young guys in the business. We were told, you don't even talk or say anything. There's guys in there, it's 40, 45. If they ask you a question, you answer it, yes or no, sir.
Right.
Right? Everything, you owe them respect.
Right.
So if you have to take care of a problem, take care of the problem. If you don't, that guy over there's looking, he's going to pick on you. That's what the pecking order in Japan was like that. The young boys were on the bottom of the barrel. They were all good athletes. The only way to go up the ladder is to pick on somebody and find that weak link. And then you moved up a rung. Then you moved up a rung. And inevitably, if they met resistance, they go to another ladder.
You know, that was like when I first came into the WWF. You know, I partners with Bill, and thank God I was with him, because then that gave me credibility right away. But I walk in the locker room and I shake hands, you know, and it's Paul Orndorff, and then Jimmy Snuka, and then, you know, Don Morocco, and Hulk Hogan, and Andre the Giant, you know, and it's like, yeah, there ain't no. I didn't say a word for a year or so until I finally got into that, because they're the veterans. They know what's going on. Every time you went to a different territory, you learned so much from all these guys. Yeah. It wasn't your place to say anything.
Right.
Yeah, every day is a learning situation. Even today, for me, I tell my grandsons, there's something you can learn today. In 10 days from now, you're 10 times better than you were today.
Right.
Even if it's minuscule.
Right. I think it was like you were saying earlier that you were wanting to be be a bigger guy that took bumps, and that wasn't really a thing. I think that might have been because at the time Andre was kind of beat up and didn't want to take bumps, and he was kind of the gold standard. Yeah, and he couldn't, and he was kind of the gold standard. So if Andre didn't do it, then nobody else was either. And so then you guys got in there and started being able to actually were healthy enough to be able to do that. And when it'd be just too painful for him to take that.
And it wasn't because when I first met Andre years and years and years ago, I mean, he took some tremendous bumps. He would come, stand up on the top turnbuckle and dive with a big splash on you. But over the years and the injuries, and you can understand that he's not a normal guy. Even to be in a first-class seat in the airplane is uncomfortable.
Right.
So he would still try, but he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, him taking that slam from Hulk Hogan was a really big thing to put Hulk Hogan over, because he was kind of trying to pass the torch. But I guarantee you, he felt that for weeks afterward.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that Hogan wasn't the first one to slam him.
Yeah.
There was probably 15, 20 guys before that slammed him.
Right.
But that was culminating in a big watched era at the time.
Right.
Yep.
That was like King Kong Bundy. Did you ever slam Bundy?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I slammed Bundy, and it was hard.
Yeah.
He was heavy. Oh my goodness. But
and you could slam some lighter weight guys
that way
that all of a sudden they gained like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So, they went into the ring at 240, and when you're trying to slam them, they're 560.
Yeah, they don't want to get slammed. Yeah. So.
Well, I have one last question before we end this off for both of you. What was the moment that you took a step back and looked at it and realized, I made it. I've made it. I'm not, I don't want to say the guy, but I've made it to the point to where I'm happy. I've done what I've wanted to do. This has been the greatest moment of my life, or whatever it was. What was your moment that you took the step back and was like, wow,
You know,
I've done
I
something
really can't
crazy.
tell you because I was happy. I was happy from the first match I had. Sad probably when we finally decided to retire, but we had, like Barry said, we had a good career, and it's always nice to do these things and to meet the fans and you know, to pick out a time with, oh, I finally made it. You really never think you make it. You're always trying to improve every night, and I think that's what pushed us. We wanted to be better today than we were yesterday. So
Yeah, you know, and I kind of feel the same way. I think when I finally got to the WWF, that was my goal, you know, and when I finally just got there, it was, I thought, well, here I made it, but now I got to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, and then it seemed like it never changed, though. You were always, now it's kind of hard to explain, but to me, getting there was what my goal was, and I reached that. And
Yeah.
whatever happened after that was huge.
yeah,
you
I
know.
think if you become satisfied with what you've done, you become complacent, and then you stale out.
You know, it's like when you were in Japan all those times. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
To be asked to go to Japan that many times and be part of their organization. That was probably like me getting into the WWF.
Yeah.
Because by the time you're in the WWF, it's just another territory.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. But I mean, I just think that you keep striving. Like
Yeah.
like I say, try to, even if it's a trivial fact or task, try to learn something new today, tomorrow, and makes yourself better. So you never give up. When you give up, then it's time to quit.
All right. Well, thank y'all, everybody in the crowd, for having fun with. Thank y'all for
Thank you, guys.
giving
Thank you.
me the pleasure of coming up here and talking to me.
We had
This
a-
was a lot.
Yay!
We had a good time.
Hey, you did a great job. You're number one.
I am the number one. I am amazing. I am fantastic. Who even is Uncle Nasty? Lexington runs the show now.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I got some good pictures of y'all too.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the questions.